Hello and welcome to a new video. Today I would like to show you a use case for our new rule engine, and we are going to use it to send out a report on a regular basis via email where you include a couple of devices. Also, I'm going to show you some best practices, how to work with multiple devices in a workspace. And for this, we are going to create a temperature monitoring demonstration use case or POC. And as you can see, I've created a basic new workspace. This is called temperature monitoring demonstration. And first of all, let's go ahead and create a bunch of devices. I'm going to choose LoRaWAN, and I'm going for this demonstration to pick the LHT65 device. Press next and think stack, and I'm now going to add a couple of devices. Okay, I skipped it a little bit in the video, and as you can see now, we are going to add 9 sensors total, and I've named them already to 3 sensors per site, and we have 3 different sites which we want to monitor. So this is site number 1, site number 2, and site number 3. I'm going to add them now to the Datacake workspace. And I've picked a special code in here, press on the Add 9 Devices button, and they will be now all added to our Datacake workspace. We can see, switch to grid or to list view, that we have these 3 different sites, and for each site we have 3 different sensors. So there were a couple of requests on our chat tool which customers explained they want to use the new rule engine to send out regular emails in the morning and include the values of the sensors belonging to each site. You could do this with our reporting engine. However, the reporting engine right now only supports sending us CSV files. And I'm going to show you how you can use the new rules engine with this special use case where you want to send an email for each site at a regular interval. What we need to do in here, first of all, is that we need a rule controller device. I'm going to explain you why we need this. But first of all, let's create another device. Press on Add Device, select API, then select Next. And we are going to create a new product. And this product we are calling Rule Controller. Press on Next, leave everything like it is, press on Next. You can also change the name here, but we are leaving this to Rule Controller. Press on Next. And then it's okay to leave this one on the free plan. Add 1 device. This will also be added to the workspace. And there's nothing else you need to do with this Rule Controller device, just to have this as a separate product from these sensors. And I'm going to explain you in a few why this is the case or why we need this. So next, we are now going over to our new rules section here, and we are going to create a new rule. So, and we are going to call this rule for site 1, maybe like send out email report. Okay. Please go ahead and pick your time zone you're in. This is necessary to have the time zone, the triggering working on your time zone. And then on the next step, and this is where the rule controller device comes in, we need to define a product. And as we can see here, we have 2 different kinds of products in the workspace. And the first one is the Regino LHT65. And we created 9 devices, and these 9 devices, they're all in that product. So if I would pick this product in here, 1 rule would be created for all devices in the product. And if I then, for example, take a schedule here, a time-based schedule, then this schedule is executed on all of the devices belonging to the product. And this is not what we want. We want 1 email including all values from the devices. So instead of using the LHT65 of the product, we are going to take the rule controller product here and have this rule just run once because there's just 1 device in the rule controller. And then on the when section, we are going to select the time-based schedule in here. We don't need any conditions in here. So let's go on and configure our first action. We click on add action, and as I've mentioned, we want to send out an email, so we choose email in here, press on next. By the way, we are removing this chat icon, and we call this like morning report, whatever. We could also leave this out because then it automatically generates a description, and you can define the subject. And in here, we call the subject like morning report, site number 1, because it's just for site 1. And then you could define this, the body of the email. I'm going to leave this as it is. And then now, because we want to include only the sensors for site number 1, we can then include site 1 temperature. Just 1 second, I need to find it. You could also site 1 temperature, sensor 01 temperature, and then we've got temperature 1. I think it's this one here. Site 1, site 2, sensor 0. Oh, no, sorry. Site 1, of course. And then I'm going to pick the next sensor, which is site 1 still, but sensor 02 temperature, and also just 2 decimal places. And last but not least, site 1, sensor 03 temperature, 2 decimal places. Yeah, and you could, for example, if you want, also give this like a headline or a separation or whatever you want to put into this recipient, into this email, and then like thanks Datacake or whatever you want to put in here. We can define some Simon at Datacake. I'm just going to add this one here to show you how this would look at the end. Advanced settings, we leave everything like it is, and we then generate it. And this is then send email notification morning report site 1 to Simon at Datacake. So I'm now going to create the second one. So add a new action, email. This is morning report site number 2. And here, in here, no, I don't want this to happen. Site 2. And why doesn't this go away? And in here as well, we leave the default body and bring in site number 2, and then sensor 01 temperature, decimal places. And again, I'm going to send this to Simon at datacake.de. It automatically shows the ones that are in your workspace. You don't need to do that. You just can type in any email that you want in here. Users don't need to be registered on the platform. And then again, we leave everything else like it is, add this new, and then we've got 2 email actions. They were all executed at 9 o'clock in the morning. And each of these email actions includes different devices. So these are the devices for site 1. And these are the devices for site number 2. We have added this rule to the rule controller device. Everything is fine. We can save this now. And And maybe I'm going to pick a time right now because we can also provide custom cron tabs here. And right now, let me see, it's 2:56. So I'm going to send this to 2:14 on the German side, 24 hour and 57. Save it and wait another minute to show you how this works or looks at the end. Okay, I had to adjust the time once more, give it a few tries. And yeah, the result, this is how it looks. This is the first email, site number 1, and you can see this included the first 3 devices. As mentioned, you can provide also a headline. And this is mail from rule number or site number 2. So the second action in here, and you can see this is reporting sensors from site number 1. This is reporting sensors from site number 2. Yeah, it's sending them out again because I set another job in a minute. And we can go also here in the devices and see, okay, these are the actual devices from site 1 and 2. There's no need to provide tags in here because this works basically completely with the rule engine. And to go in here once more, this is the defined action that we put on. And just let me bring this email into the foreground again. This is the email that belongs to site number 1. So this is how you can use the rule engine to provide custom emails at any specific time or define time-based schedule that you define. You can provide your custom email in here, also include multiple receivers, and this email will be sent then in the morning as a result. Yeah, that's it. If you have any questions once more, please let us know. Thanks for viewing this. Thanks for watching and stay tuned.